Well, hi. Today I want to speak or talk about a project I've been working on for the Practices of the Profession course, the second course I've been taking this semester, and it's the Monitoring Improvement Project Support Agent. It's a long name, but it's a project I've been working on in Faurecia. Faurecia is a car part producing company. It's one of the biggest companies in the worldwide that produces parts, interior parts mainly, and also combustion engine parts. So here it goes. Well, the project consists on monitoring. Partly, monitoring is the task the group I've been working on did. It consists of receiving some alerts. These alerts are regarding some service or hardware used in production, mainly on plants or even also in office. And these alerts usually indicate some kind of problem with those systems. The main task involved taking those alerts and using them to notify the corresponding teams or the teams in charge of handling the problem. So the main objective of the monitoring is to prevent from stopping production in the company. As also, I worked on developing software, mainly absence request software. This absence request is related to employees requesting some kind of absence, and this could be vacations. And well, the idea is to optimize resources in response of the old system. The old system took a lot of time, used a lot of material, in this case mainly paper, and also involved many people. Therefore the process was very lengthy, took a lot of time, and well, the project was mainly develop a web page, a system that everyone could use. And well, we also aimed for sticking to the internal policies and external standards that the company imposed, so that the new system could be useful and useful inside the company. Therefore, otherwise they wouldn't have used it. And well, the objectives are reducing time and resources, managing the vacations or absences of any kinds, because there are also other kinds of absences. And well, the web platform, a web page that we developed was, well, the main purpose of it was making a unified system. Every employee could use it and make it a standardized system, so that it stick to all rules imposed by the company. The goals were to mainly reduce time and for managing these absences. And so, well, this is a process improvement, the old versus the new one. And well, at the end we could take and compare the old system's time and the new ones, so that we could prove that the new system was more effective, more efficient, and well, it was mainly the goal was to replace the old one. The specifications, well, the system is a two-tier application, a client-server architecture. That's because there's a server and a client. The client receives requests to the server, and the server responds in return. And well, to there were also roles implemented. That means that there was an admin role and the user role for the system. The admin role was really in charge of approving those requests done by the clients or the users, with the users role. And well, for the implementations we used HTML and CSS. For the presentation part we used a Bootstrap as a framework. Bootstrap enables you to focus more on the logic other than the presentation. That's because it offers templates that make CSS more easy to implement. We used on the server side PHP for server side, and for the applicative logic, and MySQL relational database on MySQL for storing all the data related to the users, their absence, their requests, how many vacations they had, all those personal information. Well, on the client side we use JavaScript and Ajax. For Ajax enabled us to make the system more efficient. Otherwise we would have to refresh the page each time some kind of change was done on the presentation side or on the user side. So that well, the regulations, the standards for the external standards we used, we didn't use it, but it was the ICB standard related to the payroll. That means that in some point all these requests and approved requests have to be passed to a format that mainly is a digitalized format and stored in the database. This means, well, it's a really lengthy process to explain the ICB standard, but the main thing is to have some proof that the request has been done and approved, and that means it's payroll related, because vacations usually are or are not. It depends on the type of vacation, but can be paid. So the ICB standard was important to take into account. And internally, vacations are assigned to employees depending on how many years they have spent in the company. That means if they have spent 1 year, that's 10 for them, 10 days of vacations a year. 1 more year is added, and so on. And so, this was important because we had to know how many vacations the users had, and well, also expiring with the days of vacations that each user had, because all the vacations didn't have they didn't last. Even if you didn't use them, you had to use them. That's why they are involved in this expiring system. Well, my contribution was developing user interfaces, making some database tests and several installation tasks. This mainly, well, the developing user interfaces and database tests was for the development part, and the server installation tasks for the deployment part. Well, what I learned to develop and deploy a system, a distributed system from scratch. I used framework Bootstrap. I didn't know what Bootstrap was and what CSS frameworks are for. Also, I learned about maintainability and debugging in software development, and job prioritizing. That's mainly because sometimes developing the system wasn't the main priority. It usually was monitoring, and these usually changed in return. It wasn't always one or the other. And in conclusion, well, in a production environment such as industry, careful design is not always possible because it's required for an agile solution. It's required for you to give a response to some problem fast, and even though it's not that efficient, it must be effective. And well, even also in software development, sometimes we have to give or come up with some results each week, and well, in the long term that was a problem because of maintainability. We later on had to go and debug some part of the code, or ask even the person in charge of some specific of developing some specific task in the software. And well, that was mainly it. Thank you.